24,
Yeah.
okay.
So you're a lover girl, and so
Not anymore, though.
Are there
I'm
any
trying not
guys
to be
in
like
the picture?
That. There's like some guys that I'm, kind of going on dates. I'm not trying to be in a relationship with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like going on, dates here and there. I've definitely been like hooking up with people, but I'm making it very clear, like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to be locked down.
Does lover girl kind of mean like promiscuous? Is that what you mean?
I guess I meant it in like, that I'm like sappy and I get kind of like pulled into like
a romantic.
Yeah, I get kind of romantic, and I'm not being like that so much anymore.
You said that there's a couple guys in the picture.
There are, although
So you got a roster.
I'm trying to build a roster, and it's like I'm building it. This is my plan, but it's kind of difficult because I'm very busy, and I only hook up with other guys in the porn industry. Part of that is like the testing bubble and all that I worry about. So they're busy, and I'm busy, and then it's kind of hard to maintain this roster that I'm building.
And so the roster does the roster consist of only guys in the industry?
Yeah.
And how many? So what's the roster looking like currently? 2, 3 guys?
Oh, it's
3?
sad. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
It's sad because there's too few.
Yeah, I feel like it should be like Pokemon. Like, gotta catch them all.
You want like 10?
Yeah.
It's guys that you're interested in, or guys that you're like actively sleeping with?
Into the mic. You can scoot into the table. You can scoot into the table too.
It's guys that I like spending time with. I like sleeping with them. I'm not interested in pursuing a relationship right now. I've just like I said, I've kind of been locked down like my whole life, definitely my whole adult life. And that was like, I just wanted to experience being single and being free. And I had some bad relationships. I made really bad choices about the men like that I got into relationships with. So I'm just kind of like...
if you don't mind me following up, when you say that you've been locked down most of your adult life, how old are you?
24.
So your adult life has been 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, wait.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 years.
So, I mean, it's not really... How many different lockdowns did you have in that 6-year period?
I had 2 long-term relationships.
Were they both about 3 years
Well, I had
each?
one like that. I met a guy in high school, and we were together through high school, and then through till I was like 20, 21, and then or 22, and then I was in a relationship for 2 years with another guy.
Were you in the porn industry while you were in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And did he mind or?
No, honestly, like that's not why we broke up. It was like others. Well, kind of from my perspective, because he saw how much money I was making in porn and was like, well, I don't want to work. And that started to bother me. Yeah.
Wait, that bothered you?
A little bit, just like, there were a lot of other things going on in that relationship, and we were just like, we were spending less and less time together.
Ask you a question on that? If you were dating a billionaire and your earning potential was like $40,000 a year, wouldn't it be like make sense for like you to not work a 9 to 5 while dating a billionaire, and like for him it's like a penny basically?
I think that might make sense, but I think he or whoever I was dating, and this was sort of what happened, was he might get bored if I'm just don't have an ambition. And what happened was like you can definitely like do other things besides work and be an ambitious and interesting person. Mm-hmm. Or you can decide, I'm not going to work. I'm going to play video games all day. I'm not going to be an interesting or ambitious person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that was kind of what happened.
I don't understand though. If let's just say that this guy should probably get additional points right away because by your own admission, you're a prostitute, right?
No.
So,
no, hold on.
Well, if you're a porn star, it's prostitution.
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
What's the difference?
One is being filmed.
Yeah, one is being filmed. It's like what I do is entertainment
So the difference between prostitution and pornography is that other people can jerk off to it?
I think though that because I'm in the mainstream.
I want to be clear. I want this question answered. What is the difference between prostitution and pornography? I'm actually not clear on this point.
Prostitution is a lot less regulated, I would say. It's a lot less like when I walk into like a professional porn studio set, it's very like...
There's prostitutes who are regulated. If you go to Nevada, there's all sorts of regulations which they impose on their prostitutes. And that includes testing. That includes all sorts of different things. They have professional brothels. They're still prostitutes. Why would you make the distinguishment between prostitution and pornography? It's prostitution.
I think for the sake of the argument you're about to make, so I'll let you get there. Like, you're right. I'll let you have that point and let you make the rest of your case. Although I will say, like, industry-wise, like, it's just like it's two different kind of experiences. I won't say like, oh, one's better than the other and one's safer or cleaner, or like, just in the sake of this argument, like, fine. If you want to say like, I fuck for money, therefore I'm a prostitute.
Well, what else would you be?
A porn star.
A porn star.
Well, okay, but this is it's a non-semantic distinction. So if you say people who have sexual intercourse for money are prostitutes, and you're having sexual intercourse for money, this would make you a what?
That would make me a prostitute.
That would make you a prostitute. So unless you can give me a semantic distinction, something which actually creates a delineation, obviously prostitutes can have sex on camera as well, as not on camera, they would still be prostitutes. What would the actual distinction between the two be?
I wouldn't say that I'm a prostitute or I'm an escort, because I'm not, and I don't want to like I don't want to take away from girls who do. It's kind of like the distinction between like, well, it's the distinction between porn and content creation. Like,
stolen valor? Is that what's going on?
All right,
Stolen valor.
Is it prostitution, stolen valor? Like, I don't want to take away from the valor of the prostitutes as I engage in the same exact type of sexual act. I don't get it. Like, what can you make an actual distinction between the two for me?
it's not the same exact thing. When I walk onto a set, I have like, there's a script, there's a call sheet, there's a specific
Like the way
studio
it's
or company. It's managed very differently than like walking into a date with like an escorting client.
Couldn't a guy hire a prostitute and then have a script for her to read when she came in because, you know, it made him happy? I don't understand what is the actual semantic distinction. It seems like
the talents
you're
that
a prostitute who gets paid to have sex on camera, or you're a prostitute who does not get paid to have sex on camera. If you can actually give me a delineation that makes sense, I'm willing to accept it.
So the person I'm having sex with on camera is not the person who's paying me, and they're also being paid to have sex on camera.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not
So
defending
wait,
or not.
hang on. So I could also hire two prostitutes to have sex and pay them both, even though I don't have sex with either of them, correct?
Yeah, and then you're creating an amateur porno, I guess, if you want to film it and put it somewhere.
Well, no, I mean, I could hire two prostitutes. They could
Okay.
have sex with each other, and I could never have sex with either of them. They would definitely be engaged in prostitution, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I still need a distinction from you, because everything you say, it sounds like the prostitute does the same
But
exact thing.
It's the combination of things. Like I said, like it is that I'm being paid to have sex, and the person who's having sex with me is being paid. There's a company that's like funding it, like a big
So there's
studio.
two prostitutes being paid?
Let me ask
Okay.
you, would you say that you consider it more of entertainment because it is filmed and as opposed to prostitution? I'm
It's
just
adult entertainment. I think though, like prostitution is also like entertaining to the
Yeah,
person being
right,
entertained.
exactly.
So
That's what I mean.
what was the point you were going with this? Because I feel like you
my
were
point
going
is
somewhere else.
that I guess to bring it back around, if you can't give me an actual distinction between what would actually be a delineation between prostitution and being a porn star, because they're both just prostitution as far as I'm aware. Again, willing to be corrected, but the point I was making was that shouldn't this guy kind of get additional bonus points for the fact that he's with a prostitute willingly? If she's making a ton of cash and he's with her willingly, like isn't that kind of bonus points for him, like from your perspective?
Well, if he's just using her, it's kind of like he would be almost acting as like a pimp in that way, where he's
Yeah, like that's not how I want my personal relationships
How's he?
to function.
What? How would he be a pimp?
because he's letting her make money. If we're going with the prostitution angle, he's just like laying back doing nothing and letting her make money for him as well for the prostitution or the porn, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
but let me test this for you, or test the logic here, and you can tell me where I get this wrong. Let's assume for a second you're engaged in prostitution. and then you meet a guy, and you end up with this guy, and you continue to be engaged in prostitution, how in the world would he be the pimp? You were already a prostitute. Like now he's with you, and you're still doing the same thing you were doing before. How would that
Because
be
he's
on
collecting
him?
the money.
Yeah, we have this term in the industry. It's kind of a jokey term, but we call them a suitcase pimp. You know, a guy who usually lives off the income of their girlfriend or their wife, and they just kind of don't contribute in other ways. I mean, yeah, we kind of call that a suitcase pimp. It's not a full-on pimp,
So
but
wait,
it is
inside
creating
of
a
the industry
situation
where
where
I want to make sure I get this right. Inside of the industry where you're definitely not a prostitute, boyfriends who take the money from the girls are called pimps, but definitely not prostitution in any way, shape, or form, right?
I think you're confusing prostitution with sex work, in which case, like, you are correct. Sex work is like this blanket term where, like, you engage
Well,
in
you
sexual
call
activity for money.
boyfriends of these porn stars pimps. Pimps are associated with what? What are they associated with?
Sex work?
Prostitutes. What do you mean sex work? They're associated with
Yeah, but
prostitutes.
we live in
pimp's
a
like,
new
"Oh, I got a
age
sex worker over
where
here
there's
for you."
so
They
many
go,
different-
"Hey, there's a hooker in the back if you want her." They don't go, "Here, I got a sex worker for you."
The
Here you go,
point
Chuck.
is, because you were asking about the guy and like why she didn't want to be with him. I just said pimp because going along with the prostitute scenario, I guess. She didn't want to be with the guy because he had no ambition of his own, and he just wanted her to basically go out and
Be the breadwinner.
film porn,
Yeah.
and live off of her income, and have no.
Yeah, but I don't
ambition.
understand if he is willing to look past that, right? If he's willing to look past the prostitution.
What if he was just using
to
her,
Brian's point? Well, then this could operate the exact opposite way too, right? You would say that women then who are with men who make a lot of money are just using them.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but you would say at least it's a case by case though, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and
we're
I'm
talking
saying
about her
in
case.
my case, yeah, like that guy got boring and kind of mean and very ambitionless, and no amount of other so-called bonus points would make up for that. It's just not what I wanted in my life. It just wasn't working.
Yeah, right. But I guess my point is do you give extra points to somebody because they're willing to be with a prostitute?
No,
Or no?
because
No?
if somebody is willing to be with me, then they already have like those points. You know what I mean? Like anybody I would date, anybody who I interact with in my personal life, like they are okay with that, or I never interact with them. So like to me, that's kind of just like a given. That like it's not like, oh, this boyfriend's better than that boyfriend because that boyfriend was like okay with me doing my job. It's like I really only date guys who are okay with me doing my job.
Would you prefer a man who told you that he didn't want you to engage in prostitution anymore?
No, absolutely not. That's
So
why I
then
love
if
being
that's
single.
the
Nobody's
case-
telling me what to do.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then he could never be a pimp if he's with you, in spite of the fact that you're a prostitute, because you wouldn't want him to tell you not to be anyway, right?
I don't think it mattered what my job is. I think it was just that I was working a ton and making a lot of money, and he just fell off because of that.
Andrew, I do need to move it on. Do you have a
Okay.
final? Do you have a final?
No, we're good.
You had something? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I already.
You good?
interjected,
Okay.
yeah.
Really quick, just to wrap up on the relationship status. You said you currently have 3 people on your roster,
Yeah.
and these are all people who work in the industry. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. What's the most you've ever had on a roster?
3. This is my first time being single. It's my first
Okay.
time doing the roster thing. So
Okay.
yeah.
And so you're like seeing each of these guys once a week, twice a week?
I wish like once a month, twice a month.
Okay.
And that's just scheduling and kind of just me. Like sometimes I'll make plans to hang out and then I'm too tired.
Okay. What about you?
I am happily single. I've been single for exactly 20 days now.
Wow.
And I believe my longest relationship was about 3 years. I've had a couple of those.
How long was the one that ended 20 days ago?
It was 2 months, but we were best friends for 2 years. So things moved really quickly.
For that 2-year period that you were friends, was there any sexual involvement or strictly platonic?
We met in an orgy. But we didn't have sex. We interacted. We didn't swap fully. and then we just were platonic friends.
So when you say orgy, are you like, do you consider yourself a swinger?
I think at that time there was a little bit of that, but it was just with my partner, and then it was like the other couple, which...
So you would go to orgies with your boyfriend at the time?
Yes.
So to be clear,
he wasn't my boyfriend, but he was my long-term friends with benefits situation guy.
How long were you in that? 3 years?
Like 2 years.
You were in an open situationship for 2 years?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, like on and off.
Okay. And you met your most recent guy who you dated for a couple months at an orgy while you were at said orgy with your 2-year situationship.
They were roommates, yes.
Hold on, just to be clear. So the guy to be clear, the guy that you broke up with, or that you guys broke up 20 days ago, who you were dating for two months, was it? 2 or 3 months? He was roommates with your 2-year situationship.
Yeah, they weren't roommates anymore, but that's when I met him. At the time they were.
At the time when you met him
in the orgy, they were roommates.
In the orgy.
It was at their house, yes.
Okay. Trying to keep track.
I guess it was, to be technical, a foursome that we did not swap in. And so he was the other person, like the other guy.
Okay. So wait, you met him during an orgy?
Yes. Well,
Was
I
it
met him.
a foursome or an orgy?
It was a foursome. Is that
Okay.
an orgy? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
There was 4 people. No one swapped fully.
I don't know if
But
that's
we
a
were
Do we,
interacting.
do we need to get the requirement down for how many people it takes for it to be an orgy?
It was more than 3. I consider that an orgy, but maybe it's
Yeah, I
not.
would
More than
consider maybe
3?
5.
Okay.
I'm 27.
Okay.
So I was 25 at the time.
So you were in an orgy, and then you met this guy?
Well, I guess I knew him prior to that, but just like that's when we really got close and I got to know him.
Were they like high-fiving over your head, or?
Something like that.
So okay, you broke up 20 days ago. Who broke up with who?
I broke up with him.
Why?
There was a few reasons. It was a little similar to what she was talking about. I do OnlyFans, and he was really comfortable just like kind of living at my place, using my car. And we were at Coachella, and some things had happened there, and he was like with another girl. He told her we were in an open relationship, which we weren't. We were completely monogamous when we got together. And then when I broke up with him, he vandalized my car.
Ooh.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
I sure know how to pick him.
So he had nothing going for him. He was living at your place.
I'm not gonna say he had nothing going for him, but I am not shallow. I wasn't gonna break up with him from like just lack of ambition alone. So it really took him kind of like being sneaky, weird, like, because I always thought he was so loyal, and that's why I was with him. I was like, oh, he treats me so good, he's so sweet. And then when I started to realize that he was maybe not doing that, I was like, I'm out.
But you met him at a foursome.
Right, you met him.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. We weren't together then.
Okay.
But somebody who has an inclination towards that kind of sexual conduct is probably not the best bet for like, well, down the road, I'm going to have a monogamous relationship with this person.
Well, I think that like with certain people, you could like choose to be poly, and then other people, you choose to be in a committed relationship. So I disagree with that.
Well, hang on. So if you don't mind if I ask
Yeah.
a few questions here.
Sure.
Can I give you a scenario?
Sure.
Let us imagine for a moment that this relationship that you had with this gentleman worked out, and you're 35 years old, and you're sitting around with little Stephanie, your daughter, and she says, "Mommy, how'd you meet Daddy?" And you're like, "Well, we were at a fucking gangbang, and you know there was body fluids going all over the place.
Yeah.
And they high-fived over my head, and I knew then your dad
That
was the
never
one for
happened.
me." Like, does that sound like maybe if you think about that in the future, that
Romantic.
future conversation, does
I
that
kinda thought it
maybe
was
produce
cute.
red flags in your head?
I thought it was cute, like a love story, you know. I mean, we didn't have to tell our kid that per se. We could just say we met like from mutual friends.
That's
About
not
the
a
next
lie.
Nicholas Spark
right?
movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't blow me up.
Like, it's not like that was the first time meeting him, but like I had met him pretty recent before that. So, yeah, good times.
Well, I mean, but you would have to then lie to your kids, right?
I would be honest then. I don't really have a problem if
Yeah,
they're
you'd
old
be
enough.
honest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest about me doing OnlyFans, like all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
I'm not a liar. I'm not
But
opposed
I mean,
to telling them.
would it make you uncomfortable to have that conversation at 35 with little Stephanie, with the origin story of how I met your father was at a gangbang?
I mean, I
that?
think, like, you know, when people become a certain age, you're going to have the conversation about the birds and the bees and stuff like that anyways. I don't think when they, you know, are like a newborn baby or like a toddler, I need to like necessarily be sharing those details.
No, but I mean, even 12, 13, right? Something in there when kids are starting to go through puberty and they become curious about that type of thing. You know what I mean? And they're asking about it. Would you feel any shame at all telling that story to little Stephanie?
I think that they could learn from my experiences, both negative and positive, and I could teach them about safe sex and, you know, times where maybe like I wasn't being that safe. And
What
So
if-
say
what
a
if
safe way to
somebody
do an
else
orgy?
told
That's what you want to teach little
that
Stephanie?
story?
wait, sorry, two people were talking.
I
What'd you
was
say?
asking, what if somebody else told Stephanie that story? How would you feel about how you met him?
I'm not really ashamed of it, honestly. It is what it is. Also like there were boundaries, and like we became very, very close friends before we ever got together. And at the time I was just with that partner who I was like experimenting and doing those things with.
Is he still friends with the guy? Like
They
the two
already
guys?
weren't friends before that happened.
Oh, they were just roommates. Okay.
Well, they were friends at the time, but they fell out like long before we got together.
Okay. So you ended it 20 days ago. Has there been a rebound?
No, I've been completely celibate, single.
Okay.
Just
You
doing
had a
me.
question for?
No, sorry, I asked.
Oh,
I
she
asked
already
the
answered? Okay.
question, She answered it.
All right. And, okay, no rebound, no guys in the picture?
No.
Nothing?
I don't have the
Zilch?
tolerance right now.
No tolerance? You're sick? Are you sick of
You need a
men?
break.
Sick and
You need a
tired.
break.
Sick and
Yeah.
tired.
I'm going to therapy. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
yeah.
You said that you.
Well, but you might be only an orgy away from Mr. Right.
No, I actually like was very keen on no longer participating in that stuff, which this boyfriend knew, which is why when he told the girl at Coachella we were open, I was like, I'm out. You know that's not true. So those days are over. I'm no longer fun anymore.
during those days.
I don't
during.
think that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what he said. 'cause
Okay,
I
so
wouldn't do
during
it.
those days, how many like orgies were you participating in? Have
Well,
you?
again, define orgy because I guess 4 doesn't count as one. I
Let's
guess
just
I
count
never
it.
had one.
Let's
like
just
that.
count it.
Kind of community?
Yeah, with him.
Okay.
Only with him.
Well, would you
Let's
go
say-
to like
let's say
sex
4 or
parties?
more.
Would you go to sex parties?
Yeah, but
many
not
s-
many.
How many did you go to?
Oh, actually, that's a lie. I've been to a few actually.
More than 10?
What's that?
More than 10?
Oh no,
5 to 10?
5.
Sex parties?
Let's say 5.
Okay.
And you would
then-
have sex with your partner, or you would like swap?
I was only with him,
Okay.
and there were times where I've been to parties like that, and I'm just watching or like interacting, but like not having intercourse. So
Was
We're-
your partner with other people?
we would have threesomes a lot.
What's that like to just watch? Just sit there and watch while people do that?
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
It's interesting. It can be really overwhelming, and I would get turned on by watching him with other people. But then, you know, you experience things like jealousy, which is natural. But usually, I would experience that more like if it was like after the fact. Like if it was just like in the moment, like I actually really liked it.
Sure. What about you?
Oh, so my longest relationship was like probably 5 years on and off. It was really bad. And then from age 21 to now, I have been single.
Wait, hold on. So your current relationship status is single.
Single.
And you said from 21 to 28, you've been single?
Yeah, like
Or
yeah.
did you say 20?
I've gone on dates, and I talked to one guy in that time, and otherwise I've been single.
So you've been single for 8 years?
Probably 7.
Okay, 7. You've been single for 7 years. You were in a 5-year relationship from what age to what age?
It was like 17 to 21-ish. So
I see. And you said it was on again, off again.
Yeah.
How many times was it on off?
Oh my gosh, probably like 20 times.
20 times.
It was so bad.
Is that fairly, like, is it, you think it's more, 30, 40, 50 times?
I
Or
think probably 20.
20 is fair,
I hope
okay.
not more than 20, but
more often than not, who was making it off?
me. Like
Exclusively, all the 20 times. Did he
well,
ever-
no, there was one
One
time
time.
where he had like gotten a new girlfriend, and that was like, and he like didn't message me that time, and I found out about it, and so I guess that would be him like
So you would break up with him,
I would break up with him, yeah.
and then.
But if he got a girlfriend, I was like trying to win him back.
So who would, of the 20 or so times, who would try to rekindle things?
Him.
Was it split?
Him.
Always him.
Him always trying to get me back.
Trying to get you back, and
Yeah.
you would take him back. Typically, how long? I know sometimes there would be variance. What would be the break typically in these off periods? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a week? What was the shortest? What was the longest?
Okay, maybe like 3 days to like 2 weeks.
2 weeks was the longest off period.
No, there's probably months. There's probably some months
Oh, okay.
periods in there.
I see.
It's so long
Okay.
ago. I'm trying to block it out of my memory.
And typically, what precipitated you ending things?
Coming to my senses.
Sometimes you just have to go back until you hate them.
Yeah, and
Is
that's
that
what
what happened?
That's
Yeah.
what happened. Actually, what happened was
Well, what would he do to precipitate?
just tell me that to us getting back together.
No, to precipitate a you ending thing, even if temporary. Was he cheating?
He was cheating constantly.
Mhm.
Cheating constantly.
Did you cheat on him at all?
No, no.
Okay. So he cheated on you like 20 times then? Because you said it was
Maybe
on
it might have been 20. I don't know. Definitely,
why would you keep
definitely
going
more
back?
than 10.
Why did you keep going back?
Because I loved him. In my own brain, that's what I told myself. I was like, I would rather chop my arms and legs off. That's how I felt. I was like,
Then what?
I would
Then
then
what?
not
Be
end
with
up
him?
with him. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait, you'd rather chop your than not be with him
the
or
pain,
be with him?
The pain of him and I not working out, like, was like I would rather deal with any kind of hurt, deal with any kind of wrong thing that he did to me or whatever, and try to make it work, because the pain of like severing that relationship that I had with him was like so painful. So it would always lead me like, and so then he'd be all sweet and be like, you're the love of my life, you're this, you're that, and I would end up getting back with him.
When's the last time you spoke with him?
He accidentally called my phone maybe last year.
Have you? So you said you've been single for 7 years.
Yeah.
In that 7-year period, did you guys have any contact?
No.
Except for like a year ago, you said he accidentally texted you.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, let's see. In that 7-year period, you said there was one guy you dated?
There was one guy that I was like interested in that 7 years.
How long
And,
did you date him?
we probably went on like 3 dates, maybe 4 dates, and that was like over like 3 months.
Was there carnal knowledge?
There was intimacy in that relationship.
okay.
Yes, there was.
And is that the only guy that you've had carnal knowledge with in
Yes.
7 years?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
So you were celibate for 5 years and then 2 years.
Yeah, and I was
basically.
so upset that I like gave into that because I had really been trucking along.
Okay, and so was this guy that you were on and off again with for 5 years? Are these other guys that have come along? Have they just not been up to snuff as compared to him?
Like the other people I've gone on dates with.
Well, like, can you describe your partner, the 5-year one?
Like, what do you mean describe him?
Like some physical characteristics, personality
tall,
wise.
skater, punk, jobless.
How tall?
Probably 6'3", 6'2".
Fit?
Scrawny skater.
Skater boy?
Yeah.
Treated you like shit?
No.
It's
No?
the 6'3".
I mean, he was
No,
cheating
he just
on
cheated
you,
on
so-
me. He just cheated on me.
Okay, but he treated you well otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, except for he didn't have a job and like had no ambition and
Yep.
lied and yeah.
Did he have a good personality though?
He was really creative. But did he have a good personality? And he was really outdoorsy and like, yeah, I don't know.
Did he have game?
Did he have game?
Riz?
No.
No Riz?
No.
Was-
He's handsome. He's handsome.
Good looking guy.
He's a good-looking guy.
Very handsome guy.
Yeah.
Very handsome guy.
I'm
Did-
trying to get into another relationship, dude. I can't be on my ex.
So then
I'm sorry.
so then he hold on, wait. Was the sex really good? Was that it?
I'm not going to talk about
Well,
that.
that's fair.
I'm not going to talk about it. He was my
I'll
first.
just assume
he
it.
was my first.
Oh, he took. Okay.
Yes. So I think that had like a huge part of me being like, I would rather chop my arms and
That'll
legs
do
off
it.
than.
Wait, I have a
Okay.
question for you. So if you could talk to yourself back then,
I would just
now,
punch myself in the head. That's
Wait,
what I
you'd
would
what?
do. I would just like grab myself and shake
and say
me
what?
be like,
I just want to know. What would you tell yourself back then?
Okay, actually, what I would say is, you don't understand how much your husband's gonna love you. You don't understand how valuable you are.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to myself, and that's what I plan on saying to my children. Like, what we have as women is like so unique and so beautiful.
Wait.
And
What you have as women is so unique. What precisely do
the
all
sexual
women have
connection
that is
you
unique?
can have, but in your relationship with your spouse.
Well, how is that?
Yeah, I
unique?
was looking at my notes here, and forgive me if I got this wrong. Are you currently married?
Me? No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No,
okay,
just let everybody know, no.
She's talking about her future husband.
Okay, so the reason I asked is odd. She had asked, what would you go back and tell yourself? And you said, I would tell myself that you don't even know what the relationship between you and your future spouse is going to be like.
Yeah.
But what's the frame of reference there?
I think like the promise of like I have many people in my life that are in very strong, good relationships with their husband or wife, and they're in love with them, and understanding that like there really is somebody out there for me. I just have to wait until God brings that person into my life, and
Okay.
so it's like holding on to that hope of
Yeah, I understand.
yeah.
I just wanted to understand the mentality. And then my last question before I turn back over to Brian, would you describe this guy as a narcissist?
me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not.
No?
I don't think
Okay.
that he was a narcissist.
Was he a sex addict? Is that why you think?
I never asked him.
I
don't
just
know.
asked because
Maybe.
my toxic ex like was definitely a sex addict, and sometimes that's why people have a hard time staying faithful. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We should find
a
out.
theory.
I don't know. He should find out.
So okay, the guy you were with for 5 years, that was the first guy you were ever with in an intimate. So you've only been with 2 guys.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't say that on the last
Okay.
on the last show.
Yeah, sure. So
Now it's
you,
out there.
aside from that one, would you call it a slip up?
Yeah.
You
And it was not
almost been
like
celibate for
it
7
was
years.
not like a one night stand. It was like
You
I
had-
actually had feelings for him.
But you guys only hung out a couple times. It sounded
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay. So celibate for 5 years. Slip
so
up. Maybe?
I guess
don't
sorry,
know.
we only went on probably like 3 or 4 proper dates.
Yeah.
But like I would he would like so come see me before work and like bring me food, or like there would be like little times that we'd see each other, and so it wasn't it was a relationship that was like being built.
Why? So why did you lose interest in him?
I think I just realized that like we had a lot of different core values. He had let me down a few different times, and
How so?
So like him and I were actually supposed to hang out last month, and he had, after we had like broke everything off, and he was like saying that he like had been working on all this stuff that he was like, you know, really trying to do, and like I think he was like, for him it really mattered to him that he like lost weight and like got off a couple of these meds. And anyway, so he finally reached out to me where he was at a spot where I think he felt like he really could be in a relationship with somebody. And then he said, all right, let's hang out Thursday. I told him what days I was free. And then on Thursday, I was like, are you going to bail on me? Because he wasn't texting me. He wasn't texting me at all. And he had already done this to me like a couple times, where he just like kind of brushed off something that like I assumed was like intentional. And anyways, and so basically he I waited until the time that we were supposed to go on our date, and he never messaged me, and I just blocked him, and that was it.
Wait, but this was a month ago. So you guys reconnected. He reached back out to you, or you reached back out to him?
He reached out to me, and I said, "What are you doing in my DMs? Get out of here!" And then I entertained it, and then I entertained it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be honest, like I did entertain it because I really enjoyed him, like his company, like he's so funny, but I knew like that it was never gonna work.
Wait, okay. So just going back here though, so you went on how many dates with him? 3 or 4?
Maybe 5.
How many times did you see him in person?
Oh my god. In person? Oh, probably like 10 or 12 times.
Oh, what's the differentiation between
like him, like
seeing him in
like
person
planning,
and going on
like,
a date?
Well, I don't feel like him dropping food off for me before I go into work is a date.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You spent
No.
seeing
Can you
him.
imagine?
Seeing him for 1 minute, I wouldn't count that as like, meeting up or a date, really. When I say meet up, I mean like you actually spent a couple hours together.
Yeah, so he took me on a date. We went shooting one time, and then he took me out to dinner a couple other times. Yeah.
And then so you guys, but that was it. And then he broke up with you?
No, we went to go hang out and like go to dinner, and it just naturally came up in conversation like, yeah, like you and I both know that we have different core values, so I don't know.
Who said that?
I did, because he didn't say anything.
What do you mean he didn't say anything?
Like he just, I don't know how to describe
Wait,
it.
so
Like,
just, okay.
like he would not tell me what was going on in his head at all.
Wait, but so? What if there's nothing going on? Like, I think women. Hold on,
because
hold on.
he had taken
I
it
think
on-
women have this tendency to be like,
let's
"What's
see.
wrong?" Is
I
like,
didn't-
and
no,
if we
I
say
wasn't-
we're good,
listen to me.
we're
I'm
good.
not-
There's nothing. We're not thinking
He
about
wasn't
anything.
saying that he was good. He was like, I didn't know if he wanted to date me. I didn't know if he wanted to like.
Would
he
you
just
ask him and he would
unaffectionate.
just say absolutely
No,
not?
I didn't ask him. I didn't be like,
Oh.
"Do you want to date me?" No, I didn't do that.
Well, did you ask him like, oh, what are you looking for or anything?
What are we?
Yeah, what are we?
No, because I wasn't trying to like put any pressure on him. I just enjoyed hanging out with him and like was like, maybe this will go somewhere. But then it was like he didn't want to like go out. Like he didn't want to take me on dates. Okay, this is what I really think it was. I think that, and I hope that he doesn't see this because I would feel really bad. But I think that he like has like is maybe like self-conscious and like had a lot of anxiety about going out and stuff like that. And what is that? Why are you laughing?
No, sorry. Keep going.
No, this is really what I think.
What
And
were
like
the core values that were different? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm a Christian and he's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. So okay, hold on.
Talk to me.
So you went on how many like
Dude, I don't.
hangouts? Don't include he dropped food off. You saw him for 2 minutes.
Okay.
How many times did you guys spend together for a couple hours,
Oh.
including dates?
Maybe
3 or 4?
No, more than that.
5, 6, 7.
Well, what do you count as a date? Like, what's your
A date?
Yeah,
a
like
date
what's your
is
standard?
like maybe like an extended period of time where we go and do something that is planned. Like
Okay.
Yes, but a date
so it's
could also
pre-planned.
be-
It's a couple hours, and you do an activity or you eat food or something, and that's a date.
yeah, what would
Okay.
you call a date?
Okay.
I just pretty much that, but like everybody kind of has different standards of like,
the
oh, we
way
have to
I'm
go get
using
food
date,
or
the way I'm
whatever.
using date is it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out in public together. It's just you've hung out and spent time together. It could be at his house, your house.
Yeah, what I'm trying
that
to
can
figure out.
include at least in my framework, that could include what a date is.
What are you
So-
trying to figure out with like the whole like how many times did you guys date?
Well, so, okay, you said you hooked up with him, right?
Yes.
So what date? The 3rd date, 4th date, something like that?
Probably like the 3rd or 4th date.
Okay, so then you
No,
guys.
sorry, no, probably further into that. Because
So you hooked up with him once or twice? How many times? 2 or 3 times?
I don't want to go into like
Well, I'm
detail
trying
on that.
to. I have a reason for why I'm asking. I'm not just like curious, like, oh, I really like,
I don't
It
want
would
to
be
share
helpful
that
in
information.
it would be helpful in analyzing this. Well, because you You said you had a difference of values.
I was not sleeping with him every time I hung out with him.
But you only went on so few dates, so it could have only been, what, 1 or 2 times? 3 times? Okay, whatever. I mean, we can just make some assumptions based off the fact that you only hung out with him a couple times.
Okay?
I don't have any objections if you fucked him 100 times. I don't care. I guess I'm just trying to get a sense of, like, because you, okay. Why did this determination occur, like, after you hooked up with him? That's my confusion.
I think because I think I knew the whole time. I just chose to give in.
You chose to give in.
I chose to give in and sleep with him.
Just feeling weak and horny? Like, was there a reason?
Yeah, well, when you're single for so long and you finally like somebody, it's like you know, it's difficult. It's really hard to like not sleep around.
You give in to yourself, maybe, because like obviously that's a commitment you made to yourself to be celibate while you're being single.
And I just understand that, like, man, I really value this aspect of my life, and that's not something I just want to like give to people. Yeah. That's not something that I don't want to know a bunch of people in that way.
So, and then shortly after having, you know, you guys hooked up for the first 1 or 2 or 3 times, whatever, you ended things with him, correct?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like just...
You ended things with him.
Yeah.
Okay. What's interesting, women often complain that men like fuck them and then just leave. But I mean, you basically did that to him.
He would have been comfortable with whatever, like...
Sure.
But I'm not.
You did fuck him and then just walk, though. Women do that shit too. It's interesting. What if he really liked you? He really liked you, and then you fuck him, and then
I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere in the relationship with him. I'm like, all right,
you just met him, right?
I had known him for I had been hanging out with him for a few months.
Okay, you weren't getting anywhere. Did you ask to be exclusive?
No, I didn't ask that.
Did you ask for a relationship?
No. So what should I have done?
Well, I don't know all the details of a relationship.
No, I shouldn't have done anything because
he's not
the guy that I'm going to end up with, like, plain and simple.
Well, hold on, but you said he's come back into the picture a couple times, and the last time you entertained him was a month ago.
Yeah, that's because I was being...
But then he flaked on you.
I know.
So you were planning to go on a date.
Thank God he did.
But you were planning to go on the date with him.
I was, yeah.
Well, hold on. So just to be clear, you dated him 2 years ago. You broke your 5-year celibacy for him. You made the determination after having slept with him that this wasn't the guy for you. There wasn't shared values.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes made.
So why are you made the determination already? He's not a Christian. You've made that determination. Why continue entertaining him if he's not a Christian?
Because
if that's such a deal breaker.
Lonely. Because I liked him. I enjoyed him as a person. And so it's like, I'm not saying that it was right. I'm not saying that it was right at all. Like, it was wrong. It wasn't logical either. It was my emotions that were talking. And I was giving into those, not giving into what I know to be true, what I know about myself, what I want for myself. Like, I gave in. Plain and simple. And it was like...
Are you on dating apps at all?
Absolutely not.
Ever on dating apps?
Yeah, no, I actually think that Tinder blocked me. Because I would
got blocked on there too.
Because I would like download it and then I would delete it. Yeah, and then I would download it and just get so disappointed or like traumatized. And then I would be like, oh my gosh, like, all right, I shouldn't be afraid to like go on here and go on these dating apps. And then I'm like, this is the worst.
So is it a must that the guy you date has to be Christian?
Yeah, it just wouldn't work.
Okay.
It wouldn't work.
You were celibate though for almost 7 years total. For 5 years there was a break, and then you've been celibate for 2 years. Yeah. So why are you finding it difficult to find somebody? I mean, that's to be single for essentially 7 years. You're an attractive girl. Do you think your standards are too high? Do you feel like you still have feelings for your first guy?
No.
It's all gone?
Yeah, it's...
Okay.
Took a lot of work, but yeah, it's gone.
Okay. So why, like, are just no guys hitting on you?
No, it's actually kind of funny because I have a date tomorrow. Maybe I might have a date tomorrow. And then I think
Wait, hold on. You have a date tomorrow?
yeah.
Is it
Here in Santa Barbara?
California?
Nope.
Wait, so you're flying back?
So
You're in
this is really
Colorado?
cute. This is really cute. So he offered. So he actually saw me on the first podcast,
Okay.
and
Oh.
somebody sent it to me. So I didn't know him. He didn't like find me. I have a friend who sent him the show, and he said to me, "Not meeting you wasn't an option." And then he has like a connection to move some flights around. And so he has offered, which I don't even know, so I don't know when I'm flying out tomorrow, but he has offered to get me a new flight from LA to Seattle, and I'll have he lives in Seattle, I live in Eastern Washington. And so he's offered to like reroute that so that he can take me on a date when I get to Seattle. So if it's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To fly out to see him tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is he a
Hopefully,
Christian?
Wait, how long
Yeah.
have you been? Because you were on the show like a year ago. Mm-hmm. When did he initially message you?
Oh, this happened like within a week. This is this is fresh. This is new.
Like a week ago.
Yeah, like a week ago. I met him. He came down.
You already met him?
Oh.
Yeah, he came down to my hometown. I don't want to share it.
Sure.
He came down to my hometown, and yeah, I met him.
Nice.
Okay.
And we've talked on the phone a couple times.
I have a question,
Yeah.
if I may. The boyfriend that you were with for 5 years,
Mm-hmm,
and the one like a while ago, was he a Christian? The one that cheated on you? Or did he identify as
Yeah,
a
he
Christian?
identified as one.
Okay, so
Does he sound like one? No, he doesn't. He wasn't one.
So that was my question. So if you were dating, like you described two different people, one cheated on you, treated you like crap, but identified as a Christian. The other one had a seemingly normal personality, just wasn't really piquing your interest, but didn't identify as a Christian. I mean, out of those two, it seemed like you were willing to work more on the first relationship, even though he cheated on you.
Well, I also think that he was my first love.
You were very young, right?
Yeah, I
you
was
were-
like 17.
Yeah.
Like I lost my virginity to him. Like I was tied to that
Can you
guy.
scoot hold on, let me make some adjustments here. Hold on. No, that's good. Try to speak there. Go ahead.
And the reason I ask is just because there's so many people, I guess, that identify as a Christian, but their actions say otherwise. And so that's why I
Absolutely, yeah.
asked.
All right. I got moved on. Gustavo, what about you?
Sí, bueno. Hola.
Yeah. What about you?
My longest relationship, maybe a little bit longer than a year and a half, between a year and a half and 2 years. And currently single, very single. Very single right now, and have been single for about 2 years.
All right. Single for 2 years. And
Want to be single?
sorry, what was your longest relationship?
Between a year and a half and 2 years.
2 years. Okay. And the relationship that ended 2 years ago, you've been single for 2 years. Was that the 2-year one?
No.
Okay.
That one actually was almost. So there was a term that one of your, I think.
Oh, alpha widow?
Yes.
Is that it?
I realized that I think I had that issue going on.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah.
Similar. So I understand. My first love met in high school. Known him for almost 15 years. Had a really, really hard time dating other people because it took me a long time to even realize this. I was very, very hung up on him because we kind of would date on and off. Like we'd date for like a year and then we'd break up and not talk for like a year or two and then we'd get back together. And then we did that probably 3 or 4 times.
This is the guy. This
This is
ended
not
2
the
years ago.
This is not the 2-year guy. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
This is a past
He's the
relation.
most recent one.
Oh, wait. He's the most recent?
He's the most recent. My longest though was before him. My longest was throughout the on and off time, but he is my most recent ex.
Okay. And so why do you categorize this as you being alpha widowed?
I think
And
because,
explain what your sense of that is to the viewers.
well, I think the person who had brought it up on the panel last said it was kind of like when you're hung up on a certain ex or person you've been with, and it like kind of makes it impossible for you to date. At least that's what I took from it, and that's what I feel like happened to me. Like I could meet somebody and I would just look for problems in them because I would be comparing them to him. So yeah, so I've been single, like I said, I've been single for 2 years, but about a year ago, I guess I was kind of in like, we weren't boyfriend, girlfriend, but we were seeing each other. But yeah, that didn't work out, but that wasn't, I think due to my ex, that was part of the reason, but also he was a little bit too
Feminine?
Yeah.
Why did the relationship with the alpha guy, why did that one break up?
Many reasons. I think maybe distance played a part into it. I think also I was kind of a a-hole to him when we were in high school. That probably played into it. I think also, so another fun fact, I have a child. He has two children. So there was some baby mama drama on his side that also caused some issues.
You have a child from him?
Not from him, no.
A different.
Long time ago.
How old's your kid?
He will be 10 next month,
And you're 28, right?
and I will be 29 next month.
So you had him when you were 18, 19?
Had him on my 19th birthday.
Wow.
You guys share a birthday, okay.
Well, I mean, so technically he was born, I'm June 21st, he was born June 22nd at 12:34 a.m.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
We're working
All
on
right.
everything.
I don't know. Do you have a lucky you tattoo somewhere?
Yes, I do.
Where is that? Don't show us. Don't show us.
No, I wasn't going to. It's right here.
Where you get
It's
lucky?
above your hoo-ha.
It's above my hoo-ha.
Okay. I saw it on your Instagram.
I kind of forgot about that.
Pain-wise, like, how is that spot to get tattooed?
That was probably my worst tattoo.
Really?
Yes.
So
Is
it's
it kind
a
of on
big
the
is it?
bone there?
lucky you.
Not
Is it in cursive?
Yes.
Cursive?
Yes.
Why does that
Yes.
matter to you?
It's very important.
It is
Yeah,
incredible.
what's
Did you
the
see the
font?
tattoo? If you saw it on her Instagram?
He probably doesn't remember.
He wants to
Huh?
paint a
Did you
picture
not
for the
see the
folks
tattoo?
at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw
Okay,
it.
you're
I
trying
saw
to
it.
describe it though.
I saw it on Instagram. And so what, I'm curious, like, what's the meaning
Oh,
of
there
the
is
tattoo?
actually, okay, so, sorry, Dad.
I could guess.
No, honestly, the main reason I got it, as dumb as it is I used to like really be into Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn has the tattoo.
Oh, she has that same
Yeah.
tattoo
Oh.
Yeah.
Where is it on her body?
Same spot.
above
Yeah, same
the
spot.
hoo-ha.
Inspiration.
Yeah, that's cute. How old were you when
Okay.
you got it?
Oh, God.
Okay, well, so two things, right? Just want to let you know
Oh yeah, he's here.
just how bad the tattoo actually is because that's not canon. It's not even Harley Quinn canon. So you fell for a non-canonical Harley Quinn and
No, I
then
know.
replicated a non-canonical tattoo. So that's like a double fail.
I know.
Right? That's a
Trust me, my father's let me know.
Fathers.
Oh, father, sorry, no,
okay.
father, only one.
I think so. Okay.